All right, welcome to another recap here for this coming Friday, June 16, 2023. All right, so we started off, as you know, this morning with a buy on the E-mini S&P. The E-mini S&P came in with an HF2 buy, came in around 840, 841. Hit target approximately at 921. Now, of course, today being a Friday, I was going pretty light today on all of my trades. So had I been a little bit heavier, I probably could have had a really good day. But I did go light, so you'll see that I made a little bit, but not as much as I would have made had I been a little bit more aggressive. So anyway, I took my profit. Then I ended up getting another short. Kind of interesting. Got another HF2 short. Let's see, right over here at this yellow line. I wasn't in this trade maybe 3 minutes. Ended up hitting my target. So made a little bit of money on the ES. Then we also traded the mini NASDAQ. Let's look at that. All right, so the mini NASDAQ came in, and this was actually a buy. Started off as a buy on the mini NASDAQ. Came in approximately around 844. Excuse me, around 844. It was an HF1 buy on that. It did hit my target, profit target. Profit target was hit approximately at 924, 925, so I took profit on that, and then that was pretty much it. We had a lot of really good trades today. I only took the first several, and then that was it. And once again, extremely light, as you will see here. So made a little bit of money on the E-mini S&P, a little bit of money on the NASDAQ. Also, same thing on the mini Russell. Lost on the natural gas. Not too bad because, once again, going pretty light, and crude oil really hurt me because it had a big move up. By the time I got out, I lost 315. But overall, the net was 217.80. Well, let's take a look at our stocks and see how we did for the day. Once again, all these trades are disclosed real time in not only in the live trading room, but also on Discord. So if you would like to trade along with us, feel free to join our Discord channel. And if you'd like to learn exactly how I do this, I am teaching these patterns. Now, Einstein, which I'm using here to provide my target levels, that is going to be, I'm going to limit the sales on that. I haven't decided quite yet whether I'm going to completely take it off of the market or raise the price on it, because I don't want to get in the hands of too many people. So I think I'm raising it high enough to where only serious traders would be the ones that would have access to it, and I'm only doing that because I don't want it to get in the hands of the general public. Okay, it's I've been using it for the last 35 years. It's been in my safe for a long time. I didn't release it I released it last year in 2022 to a few people, and yeah, I don't want that to get out. And it's obviously for those that are using it and doing well with it, it's also in their best interest that I not put it out too much. So anyway, that being said, the patterns are still very powerful. I do trade the patterns. Patterns are something that, like Einstein, been around for 35 years. They do have their probabilities. I know what the probabilities are on each one of them. That's important when it comes to trading, because this is all a game of probabilities. Plus, this is a simplistic way of trading, okay? So it's taken me a long time, folks, to really get it narrowed down to make it simplistic. And that's so important, because not only do you want to have the probabilities in your favor, but you don't want a lot of different probability. Well, you don't want a lot of parameters in front of you, okay, in order to make a decision. So what do I mean by a parameter? News, tons of indicators, those kinds of things, because the more information doesn't mean you're going to trade better. The more information you have in front of you, the less likely it is you're going to be able to continue to pull the trigger. So make it simple. You should only be looking at just a couple things at the most. And then based on that, you make a decision whether you're going to actually take the trade or not. It's that's the simplest way and also the most successful way of trading. And so the beautiful thing about what I've done is not only has it been around for 35 years, but it's also universal. What I teach works in all markets. So I don't care if you're trading stocks, commodities as I do. You could trade Forex as I do, or even if you're a crypto trader. I don't trade cryptos, but yes, it works in cryptos as well. So any freely traded market, these patterns are going to work in, all right? And that, yes, that also includes our option traders. Okay, so let's see here. Let's take a look at our stocks. All right, so let's look at my first stock trade today, GCT. Okay, so GTC. Bought in GTC fairly early, around, I don't know, it was around 8:10, something like that, 8:15, somewhere in that area. I did have a buy entry. I did have a couple targets up here. It hit those targets pretty quick, but I also had one sitting up there much higher. I was waiting for that third level, and I think I got really discouraged here because it was just kind of going sideways, and I could see a lot of thin printing going on here. So it's like after this big initial push up, it just kind of dried up, and then I did get a little bit, I think I held on to this trade a little bit too long. Got a little bit, I wouldn't say greedy, but I got a little bit too aggressive with it, and I should have gotten out. I did not get out. And so it just couldn't get going. And then it started bouncing, came back down around my entry buy, and I was thinking we were going to buy. Now, I didn't add anything here on this particular trade, and I was thinking it was going to go much higher. Then it finally started collapsing, and I went ahead and hit a stop down here and got out of that. So I did take a loss on GCT. The other one I jumped into was APLD, and we'll show you how we played that. ALPD was the other trade that I took as well. All right, so ALPD, once again, very disappointing. I was waiting for the opening bell, and I was expecting these to really have a pop. In the case of APLD, it didn't do anything, and so it was just kind of riding sideways for a while. I did get into pre-market. I added, it started to pull back a little bit. I went ahead and added more. I was really thinking that we were going to have a nice little push to the upside on the opening. I did have several levers, several levels up here that Einstein was predicting. And as soon as the opening bell, it just pretty much started falling down hard. After I added, so I went ahead and got out, took exit, took a loss on APLD, but then it started coming back, and I'll show you that. And this was about, let's see, that is about 9:30, so somewhere around 11:30. A couple hours later, we ended up having an HF3 buy. So I went ahead and I bought into the HF3 buy. Was a little bit more aggressive on this HF3 buy because I know I still had some levels sitting up here. But once HF3 buy set up, it did create some new levels, and I'll show you that. So HF3, it was kind of going sideways again. I was really thinking I was going to lose on this one, and then it finally came through. Went through level 2 right over here. This was the new level 2 for that HF3 buy. And then we had a level 2 sitting up here, okay? And then we also had a level 3 sitting up here, and that's where I went out. So once it hit this third level up here, I went ahead and I took my profit. So overall, not a great day, guys. It was just one of those Fridays where, let me see if I can show you this. That was my watch list. All right, so here's how we ended up doing. Of course, I mentioned GCT. Took a loss on GTC. I was able to come back a little bit on APLD. I was down on that first trade quite a bit. I was probably down maybe $300-400 by the time that I finally took a loss on them. Then I was able to regain it, come back, and ended up going green on APLD. Same thing on XPEV. XPEV, really thought XPEV was going to start moving. It didn't. Took a loss on XPEV. Did pretty well on NKLA. NKLA had a nice little burst, and I was able to get in and get out of that. CTRA didn't do anything. It was just dead. So overall for Friday, once again, I mean, you kind of expect that on a Friday. And that's why I don't want to put too much size on a Friday. And so I ended up losing on my stocks. Picked up a couple hundred or so. So lucky if I made $50 for the whole day. But you know what? That's the way it is, particularly on Fridays. Now, the question is, why don't I just skip Fridays? Well, as I went back and I looked at my Fridays, I found out that overall, when I added up all the Fridays, I was still profitable. So I'm not going to stop trading on Fridays. but I am going to be a little bit more cautious on Fridays, okay? And if things are really hot in the morning, and you can tell, I mean, had we had good follow through this morning on GCT and APLD, it probably would have gotten a little bit more aggressive on XPEV and NKLA and CTRX, but it just wasn't happening. So it's one of those days where everything just kind of didn't do anything in the morning. I had a lot of anticipation that it would, and it didn't. So, hey, it is what it is. The indices did really well today, so I'm happy with the indices. I did miss a lot of good indice trades later on. So, I mean, the patterns were hitting all day long, but I like to get in the morning and not spend a lot of time in the market and then get out. But had I continued to trade indices, I would have had a much better day. But, hey, that is... hindsight's always 20/20. That's just the way it is. But the patterns were just awesome today for the indices. All right, that's gonna do it. Hope everybody has a great weekend. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me via my website, innovativetradingstrategies.com. Check out all my videos on innovative trading strategies. And once again, always don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. That does help out the channel. And also, if you'd like to be notified on any of our new videos or these recaps, just hit that notification bell. Have a good, safe weekend. We'll see you next week, first thing Monday morning. Take care.